All right, guys, so I'm going to talk a little bit about how to configure your target heart rate. This is really going to be depending upon what your age is. There is a more detailed way to do this with your resting heart rate depending on your fitness level, but it's actually fairly close even without knowing that. So the way that we do this is we take 220 and then we're going to subtract your age, so whatever that is. So let's just say in this case it's 15, so that gives us a total of 205. Then we are going to find out two different numbers. So we're going to have a lower number and then we're going to have an upper number that we're actually going to configure. So there's a range is what this is. So the target heart rate range is what we are actually looking for. The lower number, how we're going to do this is we're going to take that 205 that we had earlier, and then we are going to multiply by 0.6, and then we are going to take the same number 205 and multiply times 0.85. And that will give us our numbers. Let me pause here. I'll do that math and get back. All right, so I've done the math here. So the lower number is going to be 123 beats per minute, and the upper number is 174.25. So I rounded that. So for a 15-year-old, the range is 123 to 174 beats a minute. Now, the reason this is 0.6, so this is 60% of your maximum heart rate. And 205 is your maximum heart rate. So that would be 100%, essentially that. You don't want to go over 0.9. When you get over 0.9, you're actually burning muscle. So when we're within the range of 0.6 to 0.85, we are actually burning calories at a more efficient rate than we would anywhere over or below that number. That doesn't mean that you don't burn calories below 0.6 or above 8.5. You get above 8.5, you start getting into that danger mode, like I mentioned before, where you're actually burning muscle. We don't want to burn muscle, we want to burn fat. We want to build muscle or maintain muscle and burn off fat. If you get below 0.6, you can still burn fat. It's just not as a high efficiency rate as you would be as if you're between 0.6 and 0.85. If you think of it like gas mileage in the city versus on the highway, there is a particular range in a car, miles per hour. You know, it's usually somewhere right around 60 to 65 miles an hour where you get the best mileage rate on your car. You go beyond that, you actually use more fuel. You go below that, you end up having to use more fuel as well. So that's just something to kind of think about in regards to this. Now, how do you figure out what your heart rate is? So easy way is if you take two fingers and go right to your carotid artery, which is if you go to right to where your Adam's apple would be, and you can go slightly left or right, you can find that beat. You could also check on your radius right here, so it's on the thumb side. You could find your heart rate there. You could always just go right down towards the bottom portion of your heart on your chest, and you could find it there. But that is your target heart rate. It's something that's important to monitor when you're exercising. It's something that's good to know. There is something also called a perceived exertion scale. And that on a scale of 1 to 10, you're looking for 6 to 8. You were looking for the ability to really, I think it's called the ability, or the lack of ability to maintain a conversation. So I might be able to talk, but I'm not able to do it without having to breathe between or take breaths between words. So that would be a perceived exertion scale rate at which you want to be at. So any questions, feel free to let your instructor know, but hopefully that helps you understand how to figure out your target heart rate.